got it on the downside. So let's see how this functions. Let's see how this works with it on the downside. It's barely starting to get hot, and it's going to be a hot one today. I can feel the hot air up here. Yep, it's going to get hot today. It's going to be triple digits, I'll bet. So let me just go in here and check the signal real quick. Yeah, that's what we've been doing lately, checking the signal. So I'm doing a little bit of electronics, and I'm going to do a little bit of psychology. And so I labeled this one, I titled it Wednesday Out at the Ranch. So this is San Joaquin Valley, California, United States, of course. And you know, our latest topics lately is what's going on with homeless people, Washington, D.C., Satanism, extraterrestrials are obviously running this city. And so that's been the subject here lately. And I'm also doing some electronics. You know, we're working on the solar panel, free energy to power up all kinds of stuff. It's the state of the art where technology, the humankind, the you know, the best thinkers right now are working on this energy, free energy, basically. Okay, so just let me check my channel here real quick. Free energy from the sun. Okay, hello. Okay, Wednesday Out at the Ranch. Okay, this one, I just erased this one over here. I don't know why it's still showing up. Oh, I guess I didn't erase it. I'll erase it now. Oh, I can't erase it off over here. Okie dokie. Alright, so let me go in here and check my signal. Okay, everything looks hunky-dory. I don't see any people in the comments, but it doesn't surprise me because we're on horizontal. So I guess these are not searchable in the vertical live feeds. Okay, so you know, I'll have to tell the people over on the vertical live feeds to go over and check this out, the ones that I'm recording on horizontal, because it shows the whole TV and I can do stuff. Okay, even though there's nobody in here. There was one person in earlier this morning. So, here's where we're at. We're dealing with this thing over in Washington, D.C. And you know who Vicki Dillard is, right? VickiDillard.tv. She's also working on this, what's going on over in Washington, D.C. with stuff that she's involved with civil rights, getting these reparations and all this stuff. Well, strangely enough, she's also researching what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. So has David Icke commented on this area, commenting that it's a global hub. This is where high level officials, personally I think they're high level devils. You know, there is a hierarchy in these devils are in this area. These high level, whatever you want to call them, from all around the world come to Washington, D.C. My theory is Lucifer is worldwide. Okay? These are the rulers. So it stands to reason that this place would be exactly what David Icke says it is. It's all covered in symbolism. Okay? And the streets are designed to make symbols. What do you call it? Symbolism. Where did I put the button? There's a word for it. But the streets are designed, you can trace them out. They make symbols. This is Lucifer's dominion. Okay? And so that's why we're paying attention to what's going on in Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, right now. So I'm going to comment on this. I started commenting on it yesterday, and I'm going to comment on it today. The comments I'm going to make today are not only for Washington, D.C., but the whole United States is affected by this. I'm going to go into some psychology. Okay? And, but for right now, getting back to the solar power, solar energy, trying to design a system for the homeless people so they can run a refrigerator. So I'm using these old batteries right now, and I was about to do some tests, but the batteries were not charged up, so I had to end the video. So I restarted the video right now, and I think the batteries are no good. I just barely bought this battery. I just barely bought this battery to do. I was hooking up audio amplifiers just a couple months ago. I was making videos doing work on audio amplifiers. I think I might have dropped it, I'm not sure. But it looks to me like they're no good. Because the battery charger says that they're charged, and it only took like half an hour. So I don't think they're any good. So there is a way to test them, because they're supposed to supply 60 watts. Okay, so there is a way to test them. And I'll probably do that right now. But let me see. So I'm gonna be using this automobile headlight halogen beam as a load for this circuit, and I'm pretty sure this is 60 watts. Right? It should say right on it 55 watts. So that's pretty exactly close to what we need. 53 watts will work. Okay, it's 50 some watts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and test this circuit at the same time. I'll test my batteries later because I'm almost sure they're no good. Which is to say that these old dinosaur technology batteries, they're not very good. You know, the batteries in your scooters, they all use these AGM batteries, and you know they're no good, right? And so I'm gonna go ahead and hook this thing up. I don't think I'm gonna hook this one up because I know it's fried already. Let me just connect it. Let me just go ahead and connect it here to this battery. And whoops, shorted out there. This one's a new one. This one's warm. So let me use the one that's warm because that's probably the one that took a charge. Okay, so I'm gonna hook this up and let me read the diagram here. Okay, this is out. Okay, so this one goes to the battery. Let me see if it's shorted out first of all. Okay, let me just see if it's shorted out. No, it's not shorted out. So as long as it's not blown open, we should be good to go. Okay, so let me just plug this in. I thought it would be shorted. Okay, you know, considering that all the wires are melted, you know, you would think that it would be shorted out. Okay, so let me test this thing. It's probably blown open, you know, burnt out completely. So because how else would those wires get melted like that? It had to go, the current had to be going through this unit. So let me just check here real quick and get switched over to the right range. Okay, so first we'll check our battery voltage, and we got 12.5, so that's looking good. And then we'll check the output here. It says it's putting out 22 volts, but it's moving around. That's weird. It says it's putting out 24 volts. So this thing must still be good. So let's plug it in. Okay. So I'm going to plug this into my, this is supposed to be a voltage regulator. You can select whatever volts. I needed 13.7 volts. I needed 13.7 volts to charge my battery. And what was happening was that I was using an inverter to run the battery charger to charge my battery. There's a more efficient way to do it. It's called DC to DC converter. Okay, this is what's sitting down at the post office right now. But I was using a inverter to run the battery charger to charge my battery. And these inverters have this protection circuitry in there for a reason, that if you're 12 volts you're running to your inverter, if that 12 volts gets low, your inverter goes crazy, right? It starts making all kinds of noise, and eventually it'll just shut down. So that was the issue I was having. Okay, without getting too in depth, that's the issue I was having. So I had to boost the voltage. Okay, even if the voltage was 11.5 volts, some of these inverters shut down at 11.5 volts. Okay, so that was a problem I was having. And so I had to get a voltage regulator, which it hooks up to a 12 volt system, but if the voltage drops down to say like 10 volts, it maintains at 12 volts. It boosts the voltage like magic. And so that's what I was using this for. Okay, I was going to use this for that. That's why I had to regulate the 12 volts. Even though the voltage was dropping on my supply voltage, I had to keep the voltage up. There's plenty of current in there. It's just the voltage is going a little bit low, right? They're very picky. These inverters are very picky. If the voltage drops a little bit, they shut off, because they only want to be running when your engine is running, basically. Okay? And for a reason. Okay? And so that's why I needed a voltage regulator, to keep the inverter running, to charge my battery that runs my refrigerator. And so I'm going to plug this in and see if it regulates a voltage. Okay, I'm going to bump it up to 13 volts, and that way the light bulb will actually be drawing 60 watts. So I can check this, and I'm also going to check my battery at the same time, because it should be able to run this thing for about an hour. Okay, and so let's do that. I'm going to hook this booster. It's boosted up to 24 volts off this 12 volt battery. So I'm going to run the booster, the 24 volts, into this regulator, and then I'm going to bring the voltage down to 13 volts, to 13 volts. And I'm going to hook 13 volts up to this 60 watt load, this automobile headlight. And so I'll be monitoring the voltage. Okay, and let's see if it works. So theoretically, you'd like to have an analog meter, not digital, because it gives you it shows you better what's going on with the electricity. An oscilloscope is even better, right? But an analog is actually better than this digital, because sometimes it jumps around a little bit, but we'll check it out anyway. And you'll be able to see if it's doing anything goofy by the light. Okay, so let me hook this one up. Theoretically, you should use a fuse, but I don't have all that stuff. This one, it looks like it went through World War III. I mean, it has like erosion, and it turned the wire green. And okay, so this is input, negative here. I need a little screwdriver. Here's one. connect negative here. You know, I'd like to be able to have something where I can show you this closer, but I don't right now, so I'm going to plug this one in here. I know it'd be 100 times better if you could see this right here later on, maybe. And trying to keep these wires from touching each other, or we're going to have, it's going to start melting the wires just like it did before. All the wires are bare. I mean, it just burned it completely to the where it inputs to the module. So that's what I'm working with here, trying not to get them to touch. Okay, so I just energized the unit. I can see it sparking. Okay, so I just energized the unit. Now I'm going to check the output here. And looks like this is positive, this is negative. So it's showing 24 volts. So right away, something don't look right. So I'm going to turn this thing. It does not, the control does not change the voltage at all. So that right there tells you this circuit would not work. Maybe it has to have a load on it, but just right away it just jumps right up to 24. Turning it either way. Okay, so that doesn't look good. So let's go ahead and hook up the load. I'm going to start it off low, way down here. Okay, let's hook up the load and see what happens to the voltage, because right now it's saying 24 volts with no load on it. So let me hook this up. Okay, and plug this one in here, and then I'll plug this one in here. Oh, there's a battery just came unplugged. This is not the best way to hook these up. Oh shit. Okay. I don't know if okay, there. And let me plug this back into the battery first. Okay. And let me check my voltage again. Okay, so now I'll plug in the light. Okay, now I've got the light plugged in. Let me check my voltage now. It shouldn't say 24 volts because the light is not lit. Okay, there's no voltage now. Okay, so now, well, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slowly start turning the knob to see if this light turns on. Yeah, there it goes. But it has a hard start. It's not, it doesn't turn it on like you think it would, right? So I'm lowering it. You can adjust it, but it has a weird, it kicks on kind of weird. No, it's working good. Yeah, it works good. Okay, so let me go up to 13 volts here, or 12. Okay, so I'm at 1 volt. I don't know if you can see the light. Okay, so I'm at 1 volt, and I'm going to bring it up to, I'm going to bring it up to, let me plug this thing back in. Okay, okay, let me get the way these plugged in make it difficult to. Okay, so I'm at 2 volts there. Second, I'm gonna short the damn thing out. Okay, there. That light's pretty damn bright. Okay, so it says that we're at 2 volts. 2 volts and that light is freaking bright. Okay, 3 volts, 6 volts, 8 volts, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I'm at 13.7. Something just dropped. I don't know what the hell it was. Oh, and which I'm at 13.7 right there. And this light is bright. So it is regulating pretty damn good. It's at 13.3 actually. I'll bring it up just a little bit. It actually dropped down 12. I can smell that like the voltage is dropping. Okay, the battery's no good. You can see the voltage is starting to drop. That's going to be because of the battery. That's going to be because of the battery. Let me check the battery voltage. Yeah, battery voltage is shot. It is 4 volts on the battery, and it's still putting out 24 volts up here because of this regulator. That's pretty cool, but this battery is shot because I just had it on the charger. Isn't that amazing? You can control your voltage out here, even though your battery is down to 5 volts. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty freaking awesome. But I'm just wondering, why did these batteries go bad so fast? Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about this regulator. That's pretty freaking awesome. It would have worked. It would have worked. Awesome. Well, actually, no, because this is a step down. But if you get one that's like the ones that are available, it's a step up or a step down, it'll work. Now, as far as the batteries, why they went bad, I don't know. I've been using them a while. I've been using this old one. I've been using it to run a air pump when my tire had a leak on it. I was running the air pump all the time. Maybe it's because I had them on the ground. I've heard that if you have your batteries on the ground, it makes them go bad. But this trailer, well, I guess you are grounded out somehow or other. But this battery is brand new, so I'm going to test this one next. That one I did run it over with the car, I remember. I was backing up right here. I forgot that, because it got to the point where I just left it out there because I had to air up the tire every day. And I backed up and it tore up the battery. So that one I know, but I think this one, I think I dropped it. But, you know, it just shows you how fragile these things are. They shouldn't be that fragile. So I'm going to try this one next because this is still my new one. I don't remember dropping it, but then again, I didn't even remember that I'd fried that. Well, I didn't fry it, fried the wires, but it still works. I didn't remember that I did that to it, right? So memory isn't working very good. But this battery, I just barely bought it not too long ago. So it's basically still brand new. So I'm going to hook it up next. But yeah, totally stoked about that. Battery voltage was down to 24 volts and this regulator still held it at 13 volts. That's pretty cool. I mean, the voltage booster is the one responsible for that, right? It boosted it up. It boosted the voltage up. Even though the battery voltage was at 4 volts, it still boosted it up, it boosted it up to 24 volts and kept it at 24 volts. And then my step down regulator, it was working off that. So this is really the one that I'm impressed with, that it can boost that 5 volts up to 24 volts and keep it regulated at 24 volts. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so now, this thing that's going on in Washington, D.C. There is a channel. Let me turn this on so you can see. Okay. There is a channel on YouTube. He's a First Amendment auditor. Okay. Just like Silence Boy is a First Amendment auditor. He's down in the City of Angels, also known as Los Angeles. And there's some other First Amendment auditors. Here in California, there's tons of them. One of the better auditors, strangely enough, one of the best auditors that was out there. I told you they put this out. Okay. Because it's kind of like civil rights, because that's what they were doing. Your First Amendment right. Okay. So in a way, they're like civil rights activists. Okay. But they absolutely put it out. Okay. And so strangely enough, one of the best First Amendment auditors, you could look him up yourself. Okay. I told you they put it out. You can look him up yourself on starstat.yt. Any of these people on YouTube who are going out there and filming, they're making money on this, okay? If they're monetized, I'm not monetized, okay? But if you're monetized, you're making money. So if you go to starstat.yt, you can put their channel in there and it tells you how much money they're making. Okay, I told you that one of the best, strangely enough, one of the best auditors was right here where I live, in the next town. It's basically from here, it goes to Kettleman City, then it goes to Wasco, and to Shafter and Bakersfield. And out to the side is Delano. If you want to do research on that lady who had a worm in her brain that I was telling you about, because I was talking to you about ivermectin and fenbendazole, that's where that lady is, right there in Delano. But anyhow, this guy was from Shafter, okay? This First Amendment auditor, strangely enough, was from Shafter, right here, where I live. 3 cities, 3 towns down. And if you look at what he was making, I think it was like 7 years ago. He was making $750,000 a year. Okay. I remember I was watching him and I'm like, he was out there every day, every morning. I was like, what is motivating him to go out there every morning, every day, They were out there. They were driving all the way to, different cities and stuff. And we're all hooking up. And then I don't know how I found out about starstat.yt, and I put the channel name in there, and I saw he was making $750,000 a year. And you can put any channel you want in there to see how much that person is making. And some of them, you can put Silence Boy. Silence Boy, one time he had a video that went viral, and he made, I think, $10,000 in one day. But they put all of them out. Look what he's making now. It's like $12, right? And this is how I know that they put them all out. And so you have these First Amendment auditors, and they were showing you all kinds of stuff, but it got destroyed. They make them take out the important parts of it. It doesn't make sense after they take out the important parts, right? I mean, it kind of makes sense, but all the important parts that would have helped society to see the wrongs in society, the things that are wrong, they took these parts out. They're not dumb. Okay? And so anyway, there is another First Amendment auditor by the name of Auditing America. Okay? And he's probably making close to the same, if not more. Okay? And he's still out there full force. And so, all of these, in my opinion, the stuff that I've studied, they're all suspect. Okay? And, but anyhow, he is out there. Not as good as this one that was here. They were pumping out some good freaking material. That's why they put them out. Okay? And but anyhow, so Auditing America, he's going all around America, him and his buddy, I guess. But he's from, I think, Rhode Island. So he's from the East Coast, Northeast Coast. And he made a video of Washington, D.C. Yesterday when I went searching for First Amendment auditors in Washington, D.C., I was astounded to see that there were none, right? It should be swamped with freaking First Amendment auditors, right? And there was only one. Only one video showed up, and that was Auditing America. So that's the one I watched. So that's the one I'm going to be commenting on right now. Okay? Because this area, let me check real quick. Okay? Demographics, Washington, D.C. The largest racial group is Black or African American, okay? Followed by white, Hispanic, Latino, and Asian populations, okay? Let me see the numbers. Data USA, okay, it's here it says it is basically half, 50 African American. It's saying 42, but the numbers are goofy. Basically 50% FBA, Foundational Black Americans. So if you look at the police departments, the fire departments, it's not going to be like here, right? And so This is a problem. Okay, everybody's, you got communities like this community where I'm at. It's more than 50%. It's like 80%. 80% Hispanic. Okay, you go to other areas like Washington D.C. It's like they just showed you right there. It's 50% FBAs. So what's going on is they got the people segregated. Okay, you got Hispanics over here. You got Asian communities over here. Right? Everybody's sticking together, I guess, and this is a problem. Okay, because you should have everybody at the table. The human family, just like a family. A family should have everybody, even if you have some who are troublemakers or whatever. You know, the family keeps each other in check, and in this case, the human family keeps each other in check, but they don't want it. They want to be in denial. They want to lie to themselves to build themselves up. Okay, this is what the human mind does. It's called ego defense mechanism. So this is the ego that we're talking about. This is the one that's creating problems. When you start dealing with egos, you got problems. Okay? And this is an attribute of Lucifer. Okay? This is one of his attributes that is no bueno. It's not good. It's pride. Okay? Pride and, being conceited or whatever, getting a big head. And there is, what I've noticed, there is a certain work culture going on. And in this case, if you watch this video, I'll try to bring it up here right now. If you watch this video, you'll see that like 90% of the people in law enforcement are one racial ethnicity. Okay? And so this is a problem with all different places. Whenever you have a situation like this, doesn't matter what racial ethnicity it is, when there's not diversity, you get what I think is a denial. The people start lying to themselves because there's nobody to keep them in check. They lie to each other to build each other up. Like, you are good enough to hang around with me, right? And I'm good enough to hang around with you. They lie to each other. And you can lie to yourself to protect your ego, right? And to make you feel good about yourself. And, is that good or bad? To a certain extent. To a certain extent, it's good to have these ego defense mechanisms. This way it gives you confidence, makes you feel better about yourself. But in a way, if you too much of it and you don't accept reality, then you're just in denial. And denial is not a river in Egypt. Okay? And so so Auditing America went into this place, and he's filming them, and the head honcho had a problem with it. Okay? Whether or not it was disrespectful for him to do what he did, that is not the issue. Okay? Theoretically, yeah, you should be nice to people. Okay? and two wrongs don't make it right. But the thing is that she could have dealt with it differently. The problem is ego is involved. And when you have ego involved and you have denial, you're lying to yourself, or the whole group is lying to themselves, you're probably going to be in the wrong. Okay? Because the law is he was perfectly within his rights to do what he was doing. That's the fact. Okay? But because of ego, she went the other way with it. Okay? And I say this because they're human. They are leaders of all the other people that were there, and it goes to their head. Okay? You are dealing with ego. This lady was dealing with ego. Okay? And so this work culture, all the other people who were in there, they all, well, they stick together for one, okay? But they all are like under these unspoken rules, okay? If she had an issue with him, you better have an issue with him too, right? This is the work culture. I noticed this with all the employees that were in there. Okay? They treated him bad. Like, there's the exit, right? They were not friendly. They were acting like they were trying to be friendly. I'm talking about the other people. She straight up had an issue with it. Okay? And so there was one person there who you would think was one of them. But in this area, you have people who look like they are a certain racial ethnicity, and they turn around and they can start talking Spanish to you. Okay? He was not FBA. This was the only person in there who actually was halfway cool. But he couldn't be cool because of the work culture. He couldn't be cool with this guy because the head honcho was not. Or else he would be, I guess you call this the pecking order or whatever. He would be ostracized. It's like peer pressure, conform or be cast out. Okay? And his name was Cam Era. Okay? Which in Spanish is cam, which means camera. That was his name. And you'll see him on video if you watch it. He was the only one that was cool because he wasn't he wasn't their culture. He was a different culture. He looks like he is one of them, but he's not. These are Dominican, I guess. Right? They speak Spanish. And I think it's Spanish. Yeah, because they got, Española. They got taken over by Christopher Columbus or something like that. And that's the thing. The only one in there who was really halfway cool was because he was not the same culture. You would think that he is, but he's not. He looks like he's the same culture, but he wasn't. And you'll see him on there. So, this is something that's wrong because the head honcho had a chip on her shoulder She let ego, run away with her, because they do. They start thinking they are better than. Okay? They're human. And so this is what I wanted to bring attention to. And these are qualities of Lucifer. These are attributes are not good. Okay? So this needs to be exposed so that they can get right. Okay, like that one song says, get right. We got a good thing. Right? I forgot what his name is. But anyhow, so that's what I've got for that. And I'll show you the video here so you can go in and watch it yourself. Okay, so we click this one. Oh, wait. Just take me 1 second to show you the video. Okay. And if we, this is already on, so I just have to click that button and then hit enter. Now it says PC screen only. Okay, duplicate, enter. Okay. And enter. See, now it's not doing it. Okay, there it is. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick, and I think I pulled it up like this. Why? Oh, that's still on YouTube. Oh yeah, it is on YouTube. But I pulled it up off the Google. All right, let me see if it'll come up like this, okay? Whoops. Washington, DC, First Amendment, auditor. Okay, let me check this out. Okay, I put in Washington, D.C. First Amendment auditor. Let's see what comes up. Okay. Okay, here's Auditing America. Okay, yeah, here it is. Okay, it's the second one. If you type that in on the YouTube search engine, Washington, D.C. First Amendment Auditor. It's the second listing that comes up. You see there? It's this is like an ad, I guess. News without movies. Yeah, this is sponsored, and then this shows you the second one, which is Woofy Gladly. So I don't know what that's about, but this one here, the second listing that comes up, not counting the ad, but the second listing that comes up. See this? What is this called? Whatever. But the title on the video, it's by Auditing America is the First Amendment Auditor. Okay. And the name of the video is Crazy, double semicolon. What do you call that? I guess you call that a semicolon, right? Okay. Crazy, semicolon, and then in parentheses, not parentheses. What are those called? Quotations. Is delete your video now. Exclamation, 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 quotation. She went insane. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. First Amendment audit, Washington, D.C. Okay? It's this video. This is the video that I'm talking about. This is the lady who had the issue with that ego getting away. Okay? And these are the other people. So if you want to check that out. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. I don't see any people in the comments. I'm on horizontal mode right now. So experimenting with this a little bit. It has to be on horizontal if I'm going to show anything up here like this. Okay, so talk to you later.